So let's take time to breathe in and get still with one another, to touch into that vibration that we are. It's so interesting because we get caught up in that we're this body. And yay, we are this body. We have this body. But we're not just this body. We're also that vibration inside that maneuvers this body, that communicates the vibration that we are. And at all points in time, we're communicating that love that we are. And we're going to tap into that. And to do that, we're going to breathe in and notice our breath. And I remember for the longest time, I'd be wondering about, what is it with this breath? Noticing the breath. What does that do? And the main function of that is to get our minds out of thinking, out of words, and paying attention to what else that we are. So just breathing in. And as that breath enters our nose and we follow it into our heart and we vibrate there, we just notice that space. Because this body is a temple. And what is a temple? A temple is full of chambers and spaces and rooms. And when we breathe in and we enter, and if we stay up here in our mind, we stay in that upper chamber. And that upper chamber has all the thoughts we've been thinking. The day that we play back. A memory that we may play back from the past. And it will be full of videos of past things and worries and videos of future things that might happen. And it's a very active chamber of the temple of our body. But it's not the only chamber. But we greet it because it's an aspect of us, a part of us that is linked to our consciousness, a part of us that allows us the chance to love any thought we're having. Whether it's a sweet thought, a vicious thought, it doesn't matter. Because thoughts are only options. And most of the time, our thoughts aren't new. They're not something new. It's actually a memory or something we've heard in the past or a way of believing or something that occurred. So those thoughts are up there in that upper chamber. And here is the display, the memories, the ways of beings that we get to love about ourselves. And we even get to love what our mind comes up with about others. And we drift down, we let our breath come in and enter that chamber, say hello to all those thoughts, all those ways of thinking, and allow them that space. It's their playground. But we're not stuck in that space. Because the universe is our playground. We get to play in it all. So then we go into our heart chamber. Into this sacred part of our temple. And as we get into that space, we can notice our heartbeat. And notice maybe a warmth that's there, or a color that's there. Maybe a vibration that we hadn't noticed before. And we dive into that. Because we're not just here to observe the vibration in our heart, but we're going to merge with it. Because we're not just our body, and we're not just our breath, but we're both. We're both the inhale and the exhale. So we inhale and sit in that heart chamber. And just what do you notice? Anything you notice there. Along with the heartbeat. Maybe you notice a feeling, or a flame, or a light, whatever it is. Just get closer to it. Because we're going to move from observing to being and resting in that space. Because that which animates your body, that which created your body, is your being. You existed before your body existed, and that you is still there, still present, and will be present even when your body doesn't exist anymore. And what is that that pre-exists the body and continues on after it? That animates the body. Because that vibration is who you are, and is the love that you are, and is the being that you are. And that part of us is what's going to love us, no matter what. No matter what's going on in this upper chamber, no matter how we think of ourselves, no matter what we think of others, that being that created your body is source energy. And that's why you are so amazing. Because source energy decided to create the body that you inhabit. And it decided that no matter what your body experienced, that it was going to love it. Love you, no matter what you've experienced. Now, we don't always love everything we experience, but we can love ourselves no matter what we've experienced. And that doesn't come from up here in this upper chamber. It comes from the space in the heart. Because here is where we connect to the source energy that we are. And here, in our hearts, is what is capable of loving ourselves no matter the experience we're having, no matter who we're looking at, whether it's ourselves in a mirror or the mirror of ourselves as another person. See, everything's a mirror. You're never not looking at a mirror. So every beautiful being that you recognize is a reflection of you. And everything you look at that you might dislike is still a reflection of some aspect of you. And our job is not to judge what we're looking at, but to love what we're looking at. And that means sometimes when we're not pretty, when we're ugly crying on the floor, we're going to love ourselves. Because that which is ugly crying on the floor is just the upper chamber processing through its experiences. It's taking everything that it understands as a human being, how it was raised, what its experiences were from birth. And it takes those thoughts and those ways of thinking, and it turns that into anger or an ugly cry or hate or love. It turns it into all those things. And our job as a being is to allow and notice how that energy flows and to love it. And we're loving it from our heart space, from that vibration that we are. And even when we think, well, I can't love that. I can't love that about me. That's just you up in this upper chamber. Go to here. Go to that heart space. And that's where you're going to love yourself from. So we breathe in. We say hello to that upper chamber. And we go down into that heart space. And as we notice our heartbeat, we open to noticing that we are also the blood that flows through our veins. We're not just the thoughts in our head. We're the blood that flows through our veins. And the muscles. And then we notice that we're also our skin. And as we breathe in, we take an extra long breath and we breathe in. And after we hold that in, then we're going to just breathe a little bit more, but not with our nose. We're going to just suck in energy with our body. And we keep pulling in. And we notice that energy is entering our body. And how is that possible? Because we are energy beings. So we're not just breathing breath. We're breathing in the energy. And if we can breathe in the energy that is outside of our bodies, who are we? So we just breathe in the breath, and we breathe in the energy that's outside of our bodies. We realize that there's no barrier, that our skin is not a barrier to what's outside of us. that we can actually feel beyond the edges of our skin. And what is feeling that? It isn't our skin that's feeling beyond our skin. It's our energy. So as we get close to a flame, we can feel the heat of it. That's the energy of our body feeling outside of our body. And that energy pumps the heart. And that energy loves the mind. And that energy is not limited to the body. And that energy is curious and loving. So we sense that energy, we feel it. We become it. That vibration that we feel in here, we don't just look at it. We find a way to merge with it, ever how you merge. If your mind just imagines getting closer and closer to that vibration and entering it, and becoming that vibration. That vibration which designed your body, that vibration which matches the rhythm of your heartbeat to the earth, that vibration that recognizes that it is not only in rhythm with the earth, but it's in rhythm with the universe. And that you that's in rhythm with the earth and the universe can lend that awareness to the mind. So our mind's up here thinking whatever it's thinking, but we're going to share with it that pace, that cadence, that rhythm, that love. So it doesn't matter whatever thought is happening in the upper chamber. We're staying in tune and in focus with the rhythm and the vibration that times us with the earth, that times us with our heart. And let's notice everything we can about that. That rhythm pumps the blood at a certain rate through our hand, and we can feel that. And when we look at another being, we're timing with them as well. And that rate that's in our hand is timed with our heart and timed with this planet. It's all in sync. And that blood that courses through our body, courses through our brains. And we can notice our thoughts and see that they have a different rate of time. If we try to enter a thought, it's going to take us out of that rhythm. But we're not going to try to enter that thought. We're just noticing them. And we're noticing our breath and our heart. And that stillness that surrounds us. And that stillness that's inside of us. And in between the beats of that rhythm, is that stillness. Because that rhythm plays in the stillness that we are. And that stillness is infinite. It doesn't have a beginning or an end. It just is. And so our heartbeat and the rhythm of this body is happening in the stillness of our being. The stillness of our being doesn't have a beginning or an end. And your body exists and beats and blood flows in that stillness. And that stillness is vaster than your body. And it's more vast than your mind. And that stillness is connected to the stillness of everyone else that's on this planet. And that stillness is the shared source, that oneness that we all are. And it loves you. And it is you, because you're love. And you're that vibration, that stillness, that perfect stillness that doesn't care whatever you've done, whatever you've thought, wherever you've been, no matter what experience you've had. It loves you because it is you, and it's the universe, and it's pure creative love. And its job here, and your job here, is to love you. And it's so much more than the mind. It's so much more than a thought. It's the sun that shines on the earth, that grows the flowers, that finds your body, that loves your body, that loves you. It's that heartbeat that's in your body, and that heartbeat that's in your friend's body, and in your enemy's body. And that friend and that enemy are the same rhythm. Because it's about discovering. Discovering the shared oneness that we all are. And that as you love you and find that vibration inside of you, that there's this pleasure in loving you. Loving every aspect of you. It's not about finding some aspect of you that's so cool or good or beautiful or kind. Oh yeah, I can love that part. This stillness that you are loves finding every thought, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and loving it. Because all of it exists in that stillness. And the point is to say, I love me. I love me when I'm pretty, and I love me when I'm ugly. And it's not about being good enough. It's about being. It's about loving. And it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Because it's about that stillness and recognizing that that's who you are. And feeling that. And holding that space. And noticing that in that space, every thought plays. Every way of being is playing in that stillness, waiting to be loved as it is. And once you love it as it is, it's no longer concerned if it was good enough, or smart enough, or gentle enough, or kind enough, or anything. That it is precious because it existed. And it existed as a reaction to its experiences. And there was never anything wrong with it. How can I say your reaction is right or wrong or good or bad when it came from a timeless place where it learned through years how to be in specific circumstances that only you experience? So how can I say that's good or bad? I can only say that it is, and I love you. And I love those aspects of myself. And I love sharing this space with you. I love sharing the stillness with you. I love that in the stillness we find each other. And that you're there in it with me. And that we're not separate. Because in that stillness, how do I separate from you? This vast stillness. I can feel you and I can notice you, but I cannot separate from you. And since we're in this together, let us love one another. And love all the aspects of ourselves. In this deep vibration and stillness. And as we notice the vibration of who we are, and that happens in stillness, and that the stillness encompasses the vibrations, and there's no end to it, and no beginning to it. So I cannot escape you, and I don't want to. And I cannot escape me, and I don't want to. And let's just love each other. And love ourselves, no matter what appears to us. So from this stillness, and this vibration. And isn't it beautiful that there is both stillness and the vibration? And that we can move in both, in the stillness and in the vibration. And what do you notice about that vibration? How much joy and love is in that? And no judgment of you. The stillness and the vibration. The masculine and the feminine. And one cannot exist without the other. And it's beautiful to move between them. And they're both inside of you. And in that stillness and in that vibration, there's no judgment. It's okay. All the parts of you that want to weep, let them weep. It's just stillness and vibration. Let that stillness that is you feel that vibration of fear or grief. It's just an energy. And each energy that moves is acceptable and is loved. And you begin to notice that there's the stillness, but there's also this constant vibration that is love energy. That's the undertow of all vibrations. And as that undertow is going, that love vibration inside that stillness, if there's a fear vibration or an anger vibration or a grief vibration or any other emotion, that it can enter that undertow of love. And just like a drop of water can return to the ocean and merge, any emotion can merge into that love and be loved. And that all of that, the stillness, the love, and the myriad of all emotions is happening inside the universe that is you. That you are the stillness. You are the love vibration. And you are greeting every emotion and every experience with that blend. And you are merging with all that is as you love yourself. And the universe is eating that up, and it's loving it, and it's learning. It's learning how to love itself in the midst of any experience. And in so doing, you're expanding the universe. And the stillness becomes more vast. And the vibration of love becomes stronger. Because as love loves, it grows. And nothing is outside of the extent of its reach. And that is who you are. But yes, you have a body. And you have a name. And you think you have a past. And it's amazing that the universe and stillness showed up as you. And don't forget that when you look in the mirror. When you look in the mirror, see who you are. Feel who you are. And be who you are. I love you. And I can feel in that undercurrent the recognition that we all are having that we're so much more than our thoughts. And our thoughts can become overwhelmed. And we can become victims of our own mind. And anytime your mind or my mind judges me or thinks less of me, it's actually asking me to love it. It knows that you're the stillness. It's experienced that with you now. It's experienced your vibration of love. And it may come to you and say, I don't like me. Can you love me? And if you merge with the thought and only notice the I don't like me part, and you can get really tore back. But just remember to go to the stillness and the love, and love that aspect that says, I don't like me. Just love it. Because you have that capability. And now that your mind knows it, it's going to ask you to love it. And never again is a thought of being unworthy or less than or unlikable. Any part of you that's rejecting you in any way, you'll know now that it's seeking your love. And you, as stillness and vibration, can love that aspect. Because you're meeting you. And that this is your natural state. I mean, you can't screw this up because you can't disconnect from it. If you want to get off the source boat, sorry, we're all stuck in it together for eternity. So there's no getting off. This train just keeps going. And how lovely. Because I get to love you forever. And you get to love you forever. But we forget sometimes. And we get caught up in the day-to-day. And I do too. And it's always so fun to go, oh my God, I've been doing it again. I've been in a loop for an hour. I've been like chewing the end of this pen off on a thought for an hour. And now I can love that part of me. And we can take our time doing it. And we can relax and have joy while we're doing it. Because we don't have to get it right before we die. We just show up and love ourselves. And it's exponential. Every time you do it, you build this incredible ability to do more. And then you quit sweating. I gotta get this figured out before I die. I mean, I gotta, be ready to ascend. Ascend where? Where are we going? Every time you love an aspect of you, you ascend. Ascending is an everyday thing. You ascend every time you love some aspect of you, and every time you love your neighbor, you ascend. And that energy is fully expressed and transforms because it has been loved. And that aspect of you transcends time and ascends. And then another day, another aspect of us does the same thing. So every time you love you, you're experiencing ascension. And then it becomes a part of your daily, because we're going nowhere. We're not leaving. We're not stopping. We're not going to quit. And we don't die. And as infinite and immortal beings, where would we ascend to? So, enjoy loving aspects of you and freeing them and allowing their ascension to their highest self. And don't stress getting it right, because you can't get it wrong. And if today I don't touch a part of me and love it fully, it'll come back to me tomorrow, and tomorrow I can. And that's the eternal journey we're on. So we can let go of the stress of it and just enjoy ourselves and enjoy growing to love ourselves more. Because that part of you which is connected to the stillness, which is the stillness really, that's what you're doing. You're expanding the universe. And we continue to do that every day. And when we pass, or this body passes, then we continue to live in a universe that we've expanded and find new ways to continue. So let us do it with joy. And without fear. You're not becoming infinite and immortal. You are already and always have been.